I've had to learn who my real friends are, who you can call in a crisis, and I think keeping your circle small is beneficial. Damn button.
Okay.
Hey guys, welcome back to Widowhood Podcast. I am Amanda.
I'm Kendra.
And these are going really well. We've got a lot of questions. So today we're going to try to answer some of the questions that we got. And one of the biggest things that we want to clarify is, number one, we are not grief counselors. We are not therapists. We are both trained and licensed in traditional healthcare. So we've been around this, but this is our experience. Right. We are not professionals in this by any means. So I want to make that clear, because I had a lot of questions on like what our background was, and it's definitely not. Our intention is to give you our perspective and to tell you what helped us and what didn't help us and what we thought was good and what we thought was bullshit, basically.
Right.
So that's why we're doing this. But I wanted to clarify that, because I did get a lot of questions on people asking what our qualifications are. So the biggest question that we got, and by the most, was how I'm at 3 months, I'm at 5 months, I'm at 6 months. How do I move on? So
let's talk about it.
All right.
How do you become me when you used to be we?
Yeah.
And is it moving on or is it moving forward?
I agree.
Because I don't think you ever want to move on or, think of your life without the person, but you do have to move forward.
Agree. Yeah. So I think the one of the biggest things, and again, I'm reading a lot more. I am in therapy, and in the following weeks we do have a therapist coming on. She does specialize in grief and all of this. But the biggest thing that I've learned is you got to feel what you're feeling. Like, there are days that I am happy and I laugh, and there are days that I am pissed and I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, I just do not know what I'm doing. So I'm trying to have more grace for myself, because I feel like I'm gracious to other people, but I don't have any for myself. I'm so hard on myself.
Right.
So
I think what was hard for me to realize once I was alone was, what do I like?
Yeah.
Because over time, when you're with somebody for 20 plus years, their interests can sometimes become your interest. Yeah. And like, my husband was an art teacher. We went to thousands of art galleries, it felt like. And I'm not interested in art, but I was with him to spend time with him.
Yeah.
And it's because you sort of learn to humor each other. Like, I liked horses, and John could care less about horses, but he it was good for us to be outside together, doing that together. So then whenever I'm by myself, it's almost like I have to remember, who was I 28 years ago? Or what did I love 28 years ago? Because you learn to love the same things a lot. I think the other thing I had to figure out was, it was not disrespectful, or I wasn't dishonoring John by liking different things than him, or wanting to do different things now that it was just me.
Yeah.
He never liked to travel. And so we said, we don't travel. He didn't want to be in the car longer than an hour. He didn't want to fly on an airplane. And so we didn't do those things. I didn't feel like he was holding me back, but I didn't want to go somewhere he didn't want to go, And so probably within a year of him passing away, my best friend invited me to go to Hawaii with her. And I hadn't flown in a plane in 20 years. And I thought, well, I don't fly. I don't go places that are that far away. And then before I even thought about it, 5 seconds later, I said, okay, here's the money for my ticket.
Nice.
And it turned out to be one of the best weeks of my life. And the whole time I was there, I was thinking how cool it was that I was actually doing something. And so now I've decided I like to travel.
Yeah. You do travel, I know.
Yeah. And there's a lot of things that I've learned as far as, like, just another example. My husband was a pastor. So over time, my style of dress and the way that I presented myself was far conservative because I thought that was what was appropriate or what was expected of me. And then once I'm not a pastor's wife, like I looked in my closet and I'm like, I don't like any of these clothes, you know? And so I started going out and buying things that I liked when I was 20. And I remember my kids said, Mom, what's up with the cowboy boots? You've never worn cowboy boots before. And I was like, you don't know that. I had 6 pair when I was 20.
I remember,
you know? Yeah. And so, so I wear boots all the time now. And they think that it's hilarious, but that's who I was before, you know? And it's okay. It's not a disrespect to them to figure out this is stuff I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I haven't figured that out yet because I'm still so used to, like, I don't know, like, Mike loved, like, the John Wick, the Marvel, and I found myself this weekend watching John Wick, and I'm like, this is the same damn movie that I just seen 4 times. He made it 4 different times. Like, we can't kill this guy?
Right.
So I'm like, it's cool. It's cool, but I'm like, I don't know why I'm watching this. Or, you know, I've watched every Marvel movie over and over and over and over.
We did too.
We saw them in the movie theaters. We would see it 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Even the bad ones, the freaking Aquaman 2. You know, I mean, just like, and I'm like, I don't know that I even like those, but I'm still trying to figure out what I like as opposed to what he liked, because I don't even know. So for me, I think that's, you know, part of moving forward is trying to figure out, you know, you don't. The shitty part is you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You got to figure out something because you got to be who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be yourself. You got to figure it out. I know for me, I had family members say, well, maybe you should change your hair a little bit. Maybe you should soften your look. And I'm going to tell you now, this is who I am.
That's how you've been ever since I've known you.
Yes. Love me or hate me, which it's cool both ways because neither one of those pay my bills. So I don't care. Mm-hmm. But I know that, you know, in the beginning, when Mike, right after Mike passed, the amount of people that came to my house, called me, messaged me, sent me, you know, gifts and flowers and plants, that all dies at like 2 months. When you're like 2 months out, you look around and you're like, I got nobody. So you got to figure out who you are and what you like. And for me, it's, you know, I've been a hermit. Like, I just stay in my little bubble and don't do anything because I don't want to go out. I don't feel like I don't want to people today.
Yeah.
But I've got to at some point figure that out. Figure out what Amanda likes. Mm-hmm. I would say it was the opposite with Mike and I. Like, Mike would like things I liked other than movies. Like, he would go see a Twilight movie 30 times with me. He hated it, but he would go.
Yeah.
But I think more. He did things that I liked. Mm-hmm. I wanted to move to the beach, so we moved to the beach. I wanted, other than vehicles, like, if I liked this house, he was fine with it. He was fine with it. Yeah. I allowed him to pick out paint. One time, it was within a week, I hated it. I had someone repaint it, and I allowed him to help me pick out the furniture that I have now, and I hate it.
Yeah. I know we talked about that.
Yeah.
Whenever I got my house, it looks nothing like what John would have chosen.
I remember your house, yeah.
And he, you know, when I'm picking things out, I'm like, oh, we don't like this. And I'm like, no, I do like this.
Yeah.
You know, and so I laugh at a lot of it. I'm like, he would hate this so bad.
Yeah.
But I like it. And it's okay.
Yeah, my house is definitely me. Yeah. It's definitely, like, someone's, like, it's, I mean, I have a lot of pictures and stuff like that, but yeah, it's definitely me. So for me, it was definitely therapy. That helped, but even like with therapy, there's only so many times I can talk about this before I'm like, I'm done. Mm-hmm. There's only so many books that you can read, so you literally got to, you know, put your feet on the ground and go do something, go move, which is it's hard for me. That's really hard for me right now.
That's why I loved my therapist, because he let me talk about what I was feeling, but you're right. At some point in time, you're like, okay, this is what's happened. And he he said, "So what do you want your life to look like?"
Yeah.
He said, "You need to make a list. What are things that I like to do?" And he's like, "Start doing some things that you think are fun." And I think at first you don't know because what was fun was being with that person.
Yeah.
So
we had a lot of fun for sure. Yeah.
I did start spending time with the people that I trusted.
Yep.
And that I knew if we got halfway into something, like my friend when I went to Hawaii with her, she has no fear. She'll do anything.
Yeah.
But I knew that she would respect if we started, doing something and I didn't want to do it anymore. She wasn't going to be mad with me because I'm like, no, I don't like this.
Right.
We went snorkeling one day, and I'd never been before, and she loves it, and she'd stay out there all day long. And I looked underwater, and I could see all these sea urchins that were within 2 inches from me. And I'm like, I was thinking, oh, that's a risk. They're going to get stuck in my arm. And so I got up and sat on the rocks, and I watched her the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And it was a great day. Do I want to snorkel again? No. But I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'd never gone before. And so I've had the opportunity to do a lot of stuff with people that love me and will accept the fact that she's not into this.
Yeah.
Or, I spent a lot of time with my family, and I never realized how much I liked live music. There's always live music here at the beach.
Yeah, there is. I do. I like it too.
And my family and I go and do that. And when we're like, we're ready to go, we go. And sometimes they'll say, are you coming with us? And if it's not a day that I feel like it, I don't go.
Yeah.
But I never knew that I liked that before. So I think over the last almost 4 years, I've learned a lot about myself that I didn't know before. So.
But don't you think, too, like, you don't want to be, like, I definitely did. A 20-year-old Amanda was crazy. Like, can you imagine me 20 years ago? Girl, please.
So you can't go completely back.
I can't go back to 20-year-old Amanda because 20-year-old Amanda was not, she was ornery as all get out. So I've got to figure out who 48-year-old Amanda is. Like, I got to figure out who I am at this age.
Right.
Because I don't even know. Like, I don't know what I look like without we. Because we always did stuff. Like, if I was ever going somewhere, Mike wanted to go with me. He never would be like, I'm going out with my friends. He'd be like, oh, I want to go. I'm like, it's all girls. He's like, I don't care. I want to go.
Yeah, we didn't have like separate friends either. So if it was the weekend and we were going shopping, we went together. Or if we needed stuff for the house, we went together. So I get that.
So I think that's something that I have to kind of figure out. But for me, it's like, I mean, there are some days that like I said, I feel good and I feel like I can, like I gave some of Mike's shoes away this weekend. It felt good. I wanted to do it. It was somebody that I cared about, people from our church from Ohio that came in, and I was like, Mike would love him to have those shoes. And it felt good. I was able to do that. Then yesterday I was like, I even looking in his closet, I couldn't do it. It made me cry. Hudson said something, or I heard a song, and I started crying. And so there are days that I feel like that. Like I'm like, I can't even get through today. So I think literally, like, allowing yourself to feel what you feel, getting therapy, and that could be group therapy. Some people love the grief therapy. For me.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I went once and was like, this is not for me. Yeah. So I just have to. But I also think you have to get healthy coping mechanisms. Yeah. Like, for me, like I said, I was drinking, and I was drinking too much, and I know it because when I would know people were coming over, or when I would know something was happening, I was like, oh, I would be so anxious. Yeah. And I was like, I'll do like 2 shots and then I'll be fine. And I know that sounds horrible.
No,
it's
terrible.
Doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
But I was doing it more than I ever. I mean, Mike and I would go out like on a Saturday, but I mean, we would go out, have 1 or 2 drinks.
Right.
And I was like Thursday to Sunday drinking.
Yeah.
So I think you have to find coping mechanisms that work. Whether it be working out, which is something I'm not working out. I need to do that. Whatever. We've got to find healthy coping mechanisms.
Well, I think that changes too with time because, like John and I never played golf. Like, we didn't watch golf on TV, and just by doing more stuff with my family, my brother-in-law is very into golf, and he's like, "I set you up a golf lesson." I was like, "I don't want to do that." I did not.
You're
want
actually liking that now, aren't you?
I love it.
I know. You're actually getting good at it.
But 5 years ago, if you just said, "Hey, let's go play putt-putt," or "Let's go play golf," I'd be like, "Are you crazy?" So, I think you learn with time, and you get taken by surprise. But I really liked what you said about the music part, because John and I had very different tastes in music. And when you said that, before I forget it, Oliver, our son, and I were talking the other day, and he listens to almost all the music that his dad listened to.
Morgan does that same thing, and I hate all Mike's music. It was all terrible. I was like, it was 80s hair band.
Yeah.
I'm like, he listened to it all day in his car.
Right. And Oliver and I were talking, and he said, "Well, I like listening to this because I know Dad liked it." And I said, "That's good. I think that's very cool. But you don't have to listen to only the kind of music that your dad liked, because you're part of your dad and me. Yeah. So you're going to be completely different than both of us." And it was kind of like he looked like this light came on that, I don't have to listen to this whole album just because Dad liked it.
Yeah.
And he was the same way with the Marvel movies. They would always go and watch those together, and now he doesn't want to watch them. And he said, "But should we go because the new Marvel movie's coming out?" I said, "No, we don't have to go see it if you don't want to go." I said, "But I will go with you."
Yeah, it was good. I'd go see it.
But, like the songs that I hear, like sometimes I'll hear those songs downstairs when Oliver's playing his dad's music, and I'm like, I hate that one, but I had to listen to it before.
Yeah.
And so I think even like my style of music has changed since I've been by myself. The things that I listen to in the car or when I'm walking or playing golf, I don't listen to stuff that John would have listened to.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I just brought that up, but I thought I just remembered that you said that about Mike's Guns N' Roses.
Oh my God. It was literally he had the album cover tattooed on his back. He was diehard Guns N' Roses. And I'm like,
right.
It's essentially, the same album we're listening to over and over. The guy had like 3 good songs. So we're playing those same songs over and over. And I'm like, how many times can you listen to it? That's what he listened to. I mean, his workout music was like so like, it was like 80s hair band. Like, I have no idea. I need like hard rap or something. He hated my music. I hated his. We both didn't like each other's music.
One of the artists that John liked, he was a huge Billy Joel fan, and I never really was. And we went. Our whole family went to House of Blues here in Myrtle, and they were doing a Billy Joel tribute. Oh. And so it was really neat to be there. And my brother-in-law said, "John Bird would eat this up, man."
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, he would." And there's a song that he always played, and it's the one I liked. It was Vienna. Mm-hmm. And when that song came on, all my kids are standing there, and we're not, really emotional people, but I look and all of us have tears rolling down our face.
Yeah.
And so there's good parts to remembering stuff like that. I mean, that was a good moment for us, but then like another song will come on and I'll just, I hate that one.
Yeah.
So it's just...
We listen to Sirius now, so I don't have to do that. But Morgan in her car has like the 80s. They listen to that, and she like totally... She drives like Mike, which is an aggressive driver. I'm just going to say that. And she now listens to his kind of music. And I don't know if she's doing it because she feels like it's respectful, but I'm like, if I hear that Guns N' Roses song one more time. Yeah. But so the kids definitely do that. But I think those are all like healthy things, like trying to move, getting therapy. But again, these are all just things that we did.
Right.
Like, I'm not even every person, I'm again at 5 months, but every guy that I see even walking on the gym floor, I'm comparing them all to Mike. Like, God, that guy dresses so bad. My husband dressed really good because I dressed him.
Yeah.
Mike couldn't pick out. He would put something on and I would say, nope. He was like, I'm just going to the gym. I'm like, you're going to the gym that we own. You're not going dressed like that. Okay. Right. You're not working in the yard. So he dressed good. I mean, I just compare. Even talking to a guy, I compare them all to Mike. And it's, we said earlier today, we're not going to find guys like that. Like Mike literally, and we make a joke about this because it sounds so bad, but like stalked me. Like he pursued me for 5 years.
Yes.
I did everything to shake him, and so I guess like as you move on, like even if I picture myself dating, which is hard to even imagine, but every guy is going to have to live up to that standard, and like
this is what my therapist told me. He said, "You have this bar that you expect because John Bird did these things."
Yeah.
He said, "You need to rename that bar." He said, and you need to realize these are the things that Kendra likes, or these are the things that you expect or you won't negotiate about.
Yeah, non-negotiables. Yep.
Because you're not going to be able to compare other people. There's only one me. There's only one you.
Yep.
I think, you meet people that you're like, oh, I really love these qualities, but I think it's like a disservice to compare other people to who we've lost.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want them to do that with me, you know.
Yeah.
But I saw this comment the other day, or I was reading the other day, and I like who I am because I had to travel through hell to find her.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it. This has been. It has been. If this isn't hell.
Yeah. I don't know what. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a form of it.
Right.
So if you can get through it and like who you are.
Yeah.
On the other side, and that's one reason why we wanted to do this, because.
And I'm okay with who I am. Like I'm okay with my hair. Like I like my hair. Like I can't
imagine you any other way.
You ain't gotta like it. It's cool. Like you know. But I like the person that I am, and I think I've always been. I've always kind of been this kind of person. But I'm good with who I am.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm not out here trying to impress anybody. And another thing that I've had to learn is because you have this situation, people want a reason to come to you. So I have gotten calls and texts and Facebook messages from people that are in Ohio that will say, I heard this and this about Mike and this and this. And the one person I actually messaged back and said, what value does that bring to my life?
Right.
You telling me that you heard something bad about my husband, what value would that bring to me? They're like, oh, I just wanted you to know. But I'm like, what Joe Blow in Canton, Ohio thinks of me ain't none of my business. I don't care. Mm-hmm. And they would say, oh, I heard this from someone in your family. That doesn't bring me any value. Yeah. Don't bring that shit to me, because I don't care. And I think people do that because they want to know. They think you're going to say, oh, that's not what happened. It was really this. Mm-hmm. And it happens with my kids. They get asked, what happened to your dad?
Right.
Like, I've told the story on here already. I'm not repeating it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to repeat it 100 times. And I don't owe anybody an explanation. If you knew Mike, you know what kind of guy he was, and I don't need to say that. So I think that's another thing that's hard. Like you got to set some hard boundaries when you go through this. Mm-hmm. So while you're trying to move forward, you've got to set some hard boundaries. And that's another thing that's really tough, I think, for people. For at least like I think for women, because we tend to accept more, and like I guard my kids. Mike, like I could call Mike an asshole, but if someone else called him that, we were fighting.
Yeah. I completely get that, because I know just the way that we were together in our marriage. John was a protector.
Yes,
he was the one that was going to show his ass.
Yep, Mike would do the same.
I didn't have to.
Yeah.
I mean, you did because you wanted to.
Yeah, I like to. But I like to, yeah.
No, I mean, I never had to. And he handled anything I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And what I've learned through all the last 4 years is that I thought it was my personality that I couldn't do that I wasn't that kind of person. And you learn.
You're tough. I know. I said that to you so many times.
I am more
so
of
tough.
I'm more of a protector than I realized.
Yeah.
And you do become very fierce about your children, and I will say things and do things for my children that I never had to do before because that wasn't really my role.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I totally agree. If something happened, Mike always handled it. I mean, unless I wanted to, but yeah, he would always like, I'll take care of it. I got it. And so I've had to learn, like, no, I have to use put my big girl panties on and go out there and do that or say that or whatever. But that's another difficult thing you have to learn. So I think it's like learning who you are at this age and realizing that you do have a future. That's another thing. It's even hard for me to say because I can't even imagine a future. I don't know what it even looks like. Like when we got this house, I could see us in every room doing this, and this, and it's even hard for me now to like. We have a balcony on our outside of our bedroom.
It's nice too.
And we were putting rocking chairs out there so we could just sit because it's pretty out there by the waterway. And I don't ever sit out there. I can't. I don't know. I think I should go out there and read because I enjoy reading. I'd never do that. So those are things I'm like. Do I really want to sit out there and read? Like, I don't know. So I have to figure out
it might just
who I am.
Yeah.
Who I am right now. Yeah. And I really don't even know because I've been for so long.
Yeah, I mean, we never spent time outside because John had asthma. So we stayed inside where it was cool.
Yep.
And I love being outside now. Like I have a courtyard that I've spent a lot of time getting like I want it, and I sit out there all the time.
Yeah.
So that's part of my future that I never saw happening because we didn't do things outside.
Yeah.
And now I do, you know. So.
Yeah. The other question that we got a lot of, so for us guys moving forward, I really think is just figuring out who you are. I would say stay in therapy. Mm-hmm. I would say taking it most days, I will tell you this, I say, Amanda, just get to 9 o'clock. Just get through the day. Like there's just days I just got to get through the day because I have so much external stuff going on that when I'm at work, I try to be at work. When I'm with the girls, I try to be present wherever I'm at. And so it's really difficult for me not to hear all the background noise when I'm focusing on this one task. So I need to get back to working out. I mean, that's important. That was something always that Mike and I both did. I mean, the funny thing is Mike, that was one of our commonalities that we loved. We both went to the gym every single day. We always worked out. And so it's hard for me now
it's hard for you to be here and not see his big self.
Poster and not hear him yelling, put that, re-rack that and put that back. And so it's hard for me, but I need to get, I love working out and I know I do. So I need to get back to it where I can do it and not be like, walking on a treadmill crying hysterically.
Yeah.
So I've had to learn that. I've had to learn who my real friends are. You learn who your friends are, who you can call in a crisis, and and I think keeping your circle small is beneficial. I think there are a lot of good books out there that you can read. There are a lot of books that I just read books that have nothing to do with books I went random that are not grief related because people send me them all the time.
Yeah.
So I think for us or for me at least, it's just I call you all the time. I know, but I'm just trying to figure out who I am and what I like. I know what things I don't like, and I know I'm not compromising who I am. Like if you don't like something about me, that's okay. You don't have to be around me. And a lot of people don't. I found out a lot of people don't like me, and I'm okay with that because other people's opinion of you and other people's ideas and thoughts aren't really any of your business.
Right.
So I've had to learn that kind of the hard way. But I would say right now it does feel like walking through hell because I'm figuring it out every single day, and every day then something new comes. So that's where I'm at. The other question, so that's where we're at. I mean, like, we're just being honest. Again, I'm at 5 months and you're at almost 4 years.
4.
So we're in complete different places. But I think no matter what, you're never going to lose that grief. You're going to smell something, hear something. I mean, read something, see, and it reminds you of that person. And I will tell you this: when someone passes away, I have not once thought about the bad times that Mike and I had. I have only remembered the great times. But
if you have specific questions about life insurance and estate and wills, if you do message us, our specialists are coming back on. So if you can be very specific about what you want to know, then they can be prepared to answer that question for you.
Yeah, we got really good questions, and then some of them are pretty specific, which I will give those to. I think the first one is our attorney, and she does wills and estate, and she's very good at it. And I'll tell you something that she might talk about it, but she told me to do this with my dad. She said, make a video, and there was like 30 questions. And she said, ask your dad all these questions and have him answer these. Now, my dad was still saying, I'm going to be healed. I'm not going to. So he just didn't want to do it.
Right.
But I think it would be something great to do, like, with your partner when you're young, is like she put it in the estate. Like, this is a video that you guys made, like, your best time.
That's a great idea.
And I thought, she told me to do it with my dad, and he wouldn't do it. But I thought, that's a great idea. And even do it when you're young, because how awesome will that be to look at and say, right now, this is my greatest accomplishment. And Mike would have said his kids, or my greatest accomplishment, he has 3 kids.
Right.
Or our best memory. But it was a bunch of questions that she had, and I'll have to get those. I'll make sure that she brings those.
Yeah.
But definitely have something like that. I think that would have been important. I found letters and cards from Mike that he wrote me that those have, brought like a lot of comfort, because they're all so sweet. And the last text messages Mike sent me, were all so sweet. But those are things that work for us. So like I said, the moving forward is just, I tell everybody, get up, just get through the day. I mean, like, there are days that's all I can do. And then there are days that I can go, okay, let's plan something to do this weekend.
Yeah.
This past weekend was not one of those. I just said I just couldn't do it. I could not do it this weekend.
Yeah, but we have got plans tomorrow evening.
We have plans, yes.
To go do something.
Yes.
Not work related.
Not work related. So
not child related.
Not kid related, no. So we are, yes, and we're going to start doing that more often.
Yeah.
Because we used to do that all the time.
Yeah, we did.
And the guys and our husbands like
they joined right in.
Yep.
So, but we're still going to
to start doing this. So I would say, even if you take one step, it's find something that you like to do and do it. Even if you do it once a week, take a walk, go get a smoothie with a friend, something that is not work related.
Well, you helped me probably more than you know whenever it was my turn, because you would let me come and you would box with me.
Yeah.
And it gave me I looked forward to seeing you, but I felt so much better after it was over.
Yeah.
Because I was mad.
Yeah.
And when I left, I felt like I was empowered. Like, if I needed to knock somebody out, I could. And so we were spending time together, but it was also helping me feel better about what I was doing.
I had said that to Curtis. I'm like, I need to do some pad work, just because I'm mad, and that's what I'm trying. I want to get Hudson back into karate, because that's why I think for her too. She's mad right now. So, but those were pretty much the questions that we got. Yeah. So those are our ideas on moving forward.
Right.
And just taking it one day at a time. You're never going to move on ever. You're just not going to. You're going to remember this and your spouse every day. Especially when you look at your kids and they act just like them. You're like, oh, I'm going to choke the life out of you for that. But
I mean, some days, I would go to bed and I'd be like, today sucked. I didn't get anything done. That I didn't help anybody. And then the very next day, I'd feel like I just killed it.
Yep.
I just was able to get everything accomplished and more. And you just got to realize every single day is not going to be where I can't get out of bed.
Yeah.
And you have to keep telling yourself, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. And you have to, my kids always will laugh at me, because I tell them, you have to be your biggest hype man. You
Yep.
have to, I wrote stuff on my mirror,
Yep.
that I could read in the morning. I said things to myself in the mirror. I'm going to be
You're
okay.
manifesting things. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
A lot of it is your mindset, and every day is not going to be horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, there are days of my life now that I do wish were different, but there are a lot of days that I'm like, I'm happy,
Yeah.
and it's coming. I don't
Yeah.
know how long it is for each person, but it's there for you.
Yeah. I'm hoping to get there.
Yeah.
It just sucks in the
Yeah.
beginning because everything's different and new.
Yeah.
And change. Change and grow. This is a type of growth.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard and it sucks and it's painful. So that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, guys.